Zizzalon zan zin 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 zoo.
Zip-a-biddy-bow.
Welcome. This is the Scatcast once again. We're zipping, we're zamming, we're zoogling and zammelin'.
We're skitting and we're scatting.
Well, let's talk about what's new in scat news for the day. Looks like Scatman David has another allegation against him. It's being Me Too'd.
Where did he scat this time?
Sorry?
Where did he scat this time?
He scattered in the wrong place is all I can say. He's accused of scatting in a place where he shouldn't have scatted. And, you know, there's a couple kinds of scat in this world, and the only place to do them is on a stage or in a bathroom. And he did one of the wrong scats in the wrong place.
The scat came out the wrong end. We're just like, wasn't the good scat.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it'd be one thing if he took a shit on stage. That could be seen as performance art. But he actually did a scat solo in a public restroom. So.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he's, yep. He's not going well for Scatman David.
Well, we got his GoFundMe in the link description. And just like give if you can, if you have something that you can give Scatman Dave, and get him through his pay his legal fees. Give if you can, that'd be great.
Absolutely. And we're wishing for the best for you, Scatman David. Scat is not a crime.
Scat is not a crime.
Should not be a crime. Welcome.
We got those stickers in the shop. Yeah.
We got scat is not a crime sticker. Yeah, we'll put those up for sure. Welcome to Soy Shrek. I'm Comrade Britton.
And I am Patrick.
This is a podcast about Star Trek from a Marxist perspective. In a home like a donkey perspective.
Home like a donkey.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Do you think Donkey from Shrek was hung like a donkey? Because he was like a mini donkey.
He did marry a dragon.
Yeah, so he was probably, he had that hammer. We all know he had that hammer. Either that or he knows exactly what to do with that donkey tongue. How do they even have sex? Does he just climb up inside that pussy? Like, what's going on?
I'm guessing so, yeah. Yeah, he's just kind of like struts in and then just kind of lives in there for a while.
Yeah, and then he just jacks off a bunch in the pussy and hopes for the best, and that's how they get those weird dragon donkey babies.
Those are the abominations.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if there was because they're all fairy tale people, if there was also a Bible world where all the biblical characters are real and God was real, and he was punished for copulating with a natural copulation.
Yeah, God was punished.
God punished donkey.
Oh, I see. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is an abomination before God's eyes. I like to believe I like to believe Shrek exists in the Christian universe. I like to believe Jesus paid for the sins of Shrek.
I think that is kind of implied because they do have, they have the castles, they have the kings and queens, so there has to be some sort of mandate from heaven type of deal,
right?
Queen yeah. So they probably answer to the Catholic Church, or who knows what religion they are.
Right. Oh yeah, I like to believe. Yeah, fucking Shrek's not ugly or anything. That's just how they see him because he's a Protestant. Right? Yeah, he's just Irish. He's in Ireland. Oh.
I guess Wow. I wonder if there has to be some sort of Reddit thread on the religious implications of Shrek and the existence of Shrek and whether or not he's going to heaven or hell.
Yeah. Looking it up right now. Shrekism is Shrekism is a thing.
Yeah.
Is Shrek 2001 a Christian movie? Let's see here. What do they got to say? The song Hallelujah is not a Christian song. That's true.
That is true.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not, according to r/Christianity, this is not, this is a pretty secular film. Bummer. So this is now Star Shrek. This is Soy Shrek.
Yeah, I guess ultimately what we were trying to get to the bottom of was whether or not Shrek is circumcised.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go with undecided for now.
Yeah.
This is pending further research.
Uncommitted.
Which
right.
there will be further research.
Oh, there will be so much further research. I'm gonna research all night tonight. I got a whole like liter of coconut oil. I'm gonna lather myself up. I'm gonna Shrek out, baby.
You're just gonna dive headfirst into the Shrek drawn porn world and
headfirst indeed, my friend. Headfirst indeed.
And compare and see and decide. Put a bunch of Shrek's penises together and see if, what the average for circumcised to uncircumcised is.
yeah. let's do that. This is a Star Trek podcast, and today we're here to talk about Star Trek Discovery. But first, let's talk a little bit about our Patreon. We got a Patreon. It's at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs, and we'd love it if you'd go there and support us, or even just subscribe for free. You can subscribe for free, or for as little as $2, you can help this show out and help us do what we do, help us keep up on equipment and maintenance costs, and maybe put a little bit of extra money in our pocket. That I just found out the IRS came back and rejected my tax return, and then I had to put in. Yeah, they were like, you have more unreported income, so I had to put in the Patreon, and we got taxed on that. So I'm not too happy about the government taking my cheese.
Nope, they don't like it. We should have gotten, only if we were going during the pandemic, we could have gotten one of those the
PPP loans or PP. Yeah, fucking dude, that would have been crazy. That shit podcast, Mueller She Wrote got, I think, $54,000 for their salary for a year for doing a podcast, and I'm like,
that's insane.
Excuse me? That's like a full-time job salary. That's more than I make, man. What the fuck?
That's absurd. See, we could have pulled a scam like that, and you don't have to pay those loans back at all.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, we need to get on that scam train. We need to use the podcast. We should no longer use this as a medium to voice our opinions and how we see the world. We should use it as a medium to scam the government.
I'm pretty positive that's what everyone else uses podcasts for.
God damn it! What are we doing here? Fuck!
Our hearts are too true. That's what the problem is.
Well, if you'd like to support us, because we're not scamming you, go to patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. For $5 a month, you are a co-producer of the show, and we say thank you to people just like Dylan Lance, Jordan Hale, Elizabeth Hearn, Nick Savard, Shane Sawyer, David Crading Sites, Electric Baphomet, Gursky, Jormore, Kyle Simmons, Gillian McCrary, SSC Punk, Roberto Molino, 7 of 9, D. Riker, Ethan Adams, James Hartman, Iggy, Abigail Simpson, Shane Williams, Sam Mayo, Seb, Robert Yolito. How do I get that wrong even when it's not next to it anymore? Motherfuck! I'm so sorry, Robert! Asher Pliskin, Skeptic, Papa Poison, Awful Star Trek Drawings, great Instagram account. Jose Martinez, Nova, Gabe Siciliano, Big Strong Boy, Vinny, LD Corset, Former Twink, Deranged Hermit, and our good friends over at Hate Speech Podcast, the Bruce Campbell Podcast, and Anamorphin Time.
Oh, hells yeah.
Hell yeah. We appreciate all those people. For $10 a month, you can get access to
the Media Dungeon,
which is, it's a Plex server, and you help me pay for my Plex upkeep costs, and you get access to a shit ton of media. I'm talking over 18,000 films. I'm talking over 1,600 shows updated regularly. You've been watching Shogun?
I have been. I love Shogun.
Yeah. I'm keeping updated on Shogun. Shogun's really good. Did you see the Jacobin take on Shogun?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was real bad.
What was it?
It was something like, it was about how it was like completely about like white colonialism, and I'm like, and which is not the take. It's like about white people coming to a place they think is like a savage world and like being completely blown away by their like technology, by the order of their society, all that shit. Like,
yeah. Plus, it's loosely based on a true story about like the first British person to actually go over there, and he was like the second ever non-Japanese person to become samurai.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So it's like, so it is based on true events in a way, but loosely based. Like he didn't actually like have any sort of involvement in the picks and like a direct involvement in like the regent's ascension to power or anything. But
sure,
he was like BFFs with the guy in real life though.
That is cool. All right. So with that being said, do you want to get into the meat of the matter?
The meat of the matter.
You're a vegan,
yes.
But we're getting into the meat of the matter today.
The Gardine of the matter.
The Gardine ME'AT of the matter. Mead. So today, Star Trek Discovery came back. Season 5, final season. I think 10 episodes. First 2 episodes released April 4th, 2024. So we're here to talk about the first episode. Season 5, Episode 1 of Discovery, Red Directive. It is the 56th episode so far in Discovery, and the first one of Season 5. This one is written by Michelle Paradise, best known as the showrunner for the last 2 seasons of Discovery. So she's responsible for a lot of either ire or praise for the series. And this one's directed by Luratunde Osunsanami, who directed 13 episodes of Discovery so far. So one of the main directors of the series. Directed Such Sweet Sorrow 1 and 2, That Hope Is You 1 and 2, Species 10C from last season, and Coming Home, the season finale from season 4. So pretty accomplished Discovery director. Yeah, you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get into it. We open on an intense action scene. Captain Burnham is on top of his ship trying to cut in using a phaser with warp failure on the ship imminent. We then have a flashback to 4 hours prior. Burnham is with the crew at a Millennium celebration for the Federation. Burnham says it's good to see the Federation back and at peace. It's revealed that the Pathway engine has won out over the Spore Drive engine after the only other Spore Drive besides Discovery was destroyed with Book's ship last season. Stamets wonders if he'll ever do anything that meaningful again, like the Mushroom Drive, and his partner Hugh is like, yeah, of course you will. But like, is he really going to make another like groundbreaking scientific discovery in his life? Like most scientists these days don't, especially like Solo. Like everything's done by teams these days, you know?
Well, I mean, also his namesake, the real Paul Stamets, has like invented several strains of mushrooms himself, and like just like has had multiple discoveries and new applications for mushrooms. So I mean, it's very possible he could have some more.
Maybe. Burnham gives a cheers to change while the president wants to talk to Burnham. Stamets.
Also, it is kind of funny that that they are just like willing to write off technology like that so handedly, just be like, well, we got something else.
Yeah, right. We still have because they still have like Discovery, and they're still going to use Discovery, and it's like an amazing engine. I don't know.
Yeah, instantaneous transportation.
It's basically like Warp 10. Yeah. Whatever.
But I also kind of see like the reason why they probably want to make sure Discovery is the only ship with it, because it does, like if every single ship had that, it would kind of like remove any sort of tension. It's like, oh, Discovery is the only ship in that sector right now, and just like they can't snap their fingers and they'll instantaneously be like 5 more ships to help them out at any sort of situation. So
right,
yeah, it does give them, like, story wise, it gives them like a reason to be isolated and a reason for there to be tension whenever they're in some sort of scuffle. True.
So Stamets says he shouldn't have mentioned Book, and it's clear that Burnham has some feels about him still. So we'll remember from last season, basically what happened is Book like defected from the Federation in order to like try something different to stop the DMA. And so after that, like, he died, and then he was brought back by Species 10C at the very end. And he was basically made to just like do community service for defecting against the Federation and basically like, committing sedition. Which is...
It's kind of pretty nuts, honestly, I think.
Yeah, it's a little too slap on the wristy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I am like a prison abolitionist, and I do think that like he should have some comeuppance for that. But, I think it should be like restorative justice. And I guess he says he's been working with like refugees and stuff in this episode. So, nah. So over with Saru, he's hanging out with his new Vulcan girlfriend from last season, and Saru reveals that he's chosen to be a Federation ambassador. His girlfriend tells him he needs to choose between the relationship and that role, which is, he's like, oh shit, she's giving me an ultimatum. That's fucked. So over with Burnham, Admiral Vance gives her a thing shaped like an infinity symbol that transports her to a room called the Infinity Room, with Admiral Vance and Dr. Kovich, played by David Cronenberg, and it's like a private meeting space that they can transport to.
I'm honestly hoping, like, the fact that we have David, there has been like no weird body horror type stuff.
I would love if they gave David Cronenberg just a single episode. That would go so
they let him
hard.
direct it.
Right.
And direct it, and then just like, and then finally, like, Dr. Kovich like undoes his tie and takes off his suit, and he's just like a writhing mass of tentacles and weird
like,
vestigial
help
fangs.
me.
He gets in that chair. He gets in the chair, and it's like Crimes of the Future, and he has to eat weird bars in a moving chair.
I just want to see his take on a transporter accident.
Oh my god!
Right? If anyone was born to like truly show the horrors of a transporter accident, it is David Cronenberg.
Yeah, it's the fact. Yeah, they need to give him at least one episode. It's the last season. What do they have to lose?
Nothing.
Just get weird with it.
Right. I mean, he probably charges a lot more to direct than he does to act, though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like him just appearing in Star Trek is mostly just a favor to them. Like, I think he's just like a fan.
Yeah.
Either
that, or he's they're paying him well, or he just like wants to act, because he doesn't get many acting roles, even though he's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, I like him in Nightbreed. He's pretty good in that, and he's just a weird little guy.
So Kovich tells Burnham that they need her to pursue a vehicle with something vital to their security inside. A spaceship, not a vehicle. He calls it a red directive, which is something very important and very secret. Burnham says she'll go get her crew together. So on Discovery, they're prepping to leave as Burnham boards and tells everybody that they're going to an uninhabited planet to get an 800-year-old Romulan vessel with a weapon that can't get into the wrong hands. On board the Romulan vessel, some mysterious aliens show up, and it's a green guy and a hot blonde girl. They give themselves 8 minutes and find something using all the backup power.
Did you notice his face was kind of, after he took his helmet off, it was kind of like transparent or something?
Yeah, it was like transparent greenish. I don't know. It looked like like an old one of those iMacs with the transparent plastic.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what that was about. I was like, is he a hologram? Is that some sort of like
something
natural
his species does? Because we don't know what species he is, do we?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made a lot about they don't know what kind of species he is. So I think it's going to be some sort of like super reveal later on in the season.
Oh god, if he's like a progenitor, I'm gonna kill myself.
That's what I was assuming, because like he kind of almost looks like a progenitor.
So the green guy, Laak, suggests they go back and fuck, but the girl is like, nah, let's steal the big thing instead. Boo. But I'm horny. Baby horny needs to come.
That's exactly what he did.
That's exactly what. Baby want to go back to ship, have sex. So, on Discovery, they detect the life signs on board and decide to go over and secure it. Dr. Kovic says kill anything on the ship and make sure the mission succeeds. He is like bloodthirsty, but that's Cronenberg.
This is also like there's events that happen later on, but like this is like a vital to like some of the things that happen later on, where it's just like it's clear that like a red directive gives them pretty much the ability to do whatever is necessary, whatever means necessary to accomplish their goals.
Right.
And then later there's some antagonism about that.
Right.
Like, which I don't understand. It's just like there's people who get in trouble for.
Yeah. We'll go over that in the next episode because that caused confusion in me too. Yeah. To me, a red directive is just when my girlfriend's on her period. That sucked. I am sorry for that. On the Romulan,
and then it becomes a head directive.
Only one can only hope. So on the Romulan ship, Burnham's landing party, it actually just becomes an anal directive. So on the Romulan ship, Burnham's landing party lands, and they look for two life signs. They find them, Laak and Maul. Maul's the blonde, and they have a standoff. Laak and Maul escape, and Burnham puts on her spacesuit and rides out to the ship. She laughs and says, "Never a dull moment," which just made me cringe.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
It was just like unnecessarily. It was such a soy moment. Suddenly, the USS Antares in warp comes to assist them and puts a tractor beam on the ship. Suddenly, the warp bubble begins to close, and Burnham tells the Antares to release them. Burnham says she has a saxophone lesson to get to, and I hate this writing. Discovery joins them in warp, and Dr. Kovic is bothered. The captain of the Antares tells Burnham to leave, and he'll handle it himself. Burnham and Antares have a little spat, and Saru tells Burnham to get out of the warp bubble. Finally, Antares relents, and Burnham jumps off the ship. They all drop out of warp, and then the bandit ship warps away, sending a bunch of fake warp signatures while doing so. Burnham is transported back onto the bridge, and Kovic tells her that they lost him. The bandits got away clean. Kovic asks for an answer, and Burnham says she knows someone who can find them. Who do you think that is?
Uh-oh.
Who do you think it is? Discovery warps to a planet and transports somebody on. Guess who that somebody was? Guess who the big reveal is?
It's Book.
Cleveland Booker. The 4th or 5th or whatever he is.
Yeah, this is the Cleveland show.
It is the Cleveland show. Since season 3, it has been the Cleveland and Michael show.
Yeah.
So Burnham says he's the guy to sniff out these Maul and Locke characters who Burnham believes to be couriers of a sort. She tells him he's doing good work with the DMA refugees, so there's some exposition there. He says he's doing whatever he can to make things right after fucking up real bad and double-crossing the Federation last season. Yeah, once again, like, the last season, I think a big problem I had with it is there were absolutely no consequences for, like, anybody whatsoever except for the main villain guy. He died. Everyone else who, like, really fucked up, like, just got redeemed in the end somehow, and it was like, really, it was a little too wrapped up in a bow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's sort of like, you know, if you have 10 episodes where to introduce the problem.
Last season was 13 episodes.
Oh, last was 13, yeah. So you have that as many episodes to, like, introduce, solve, and then offer resolution to it. It's just like you can really, like, do whatever. You know, it's like you have more than an entire, like, trilogy of movies worth of stuff to like this. You have more time than you did with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yeah, it's like you can.
That's actually
really,
true.
Like,
the extended Lord of the Rings trilogy is about as long as Discovery season 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's,
wow. When you put it that way, it makes me real sad.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, it's like you could like offer a satisfying conclusion, you know, twists and turns and everything else, but yeah, a lot of it just like was just almost white noise to me in a way.
Yeah.
It's also like, because like I think one of my main critiques is like, so far I've liked this season, but like one of my main critiques is like I think everyone kind of almost speaks with the same voice, where they have that sort of like concerned troll, like disingenuous, like therapy voice with everybody.
Yeah. Yes. And, absolutely. Like everyone's like doing therapy. Everyone on the show is like a psychology major. Like an undergrad, a psychology undergrad in like their junior year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't understand like how Culber was able to, you know, fill in both roles as like doctor and also their therapist, because that is like
they needed something for the actor to do.
Yeah.
Because there's like no consequences, so no one's getting hurt, so he doesn't need to treat anybody. But you know how they are hurt? Their trauma.
Yeah. That would make sense. That would be funny if he just went straight like therapy.
He's like, yeah, no one's hurt anymore. Like the fucking med beds take care of everything. So I'm just gonna work on people's minds now.
Yeah, my job's obsolete. It's like, actually, we can cure their minds too, and just puts a bunch of pills in their mouth. Like,
no.
I guess I'll go with the pottery.
Yeah, you're out of a job.
Like, well, I guess I'll do pottery now or something.
Yep, he's the ship's glass blower now.
Yeah,
you know, we can do that too. And the replica, shut up.
He just makes bongs.
So next we have the captain of the Antares, which I forget his name. It's Reyes or
Rainer.
Rainer. There you go.
Yeah, he's basically Discovery's Captain Shaw.
Yeah, he's definitely a no type guy. He's a Shaw or a Jellicoe type. Fuck you, Captain.
Which I honestly think the show needs. Some, you know, it's just like someone to offer some sort of like
a straight shooter
point of view,
a straight shooter,
and like and just like have some sort of like conflict instead of like the just smiling, agreeing that everyone else does on the show, where everyone's just like, you know, we're gonna do this, and everyone's just like, yeah. And it's just like there's no like we don't. It's like not like TNG where we have the, you know, boardroom scene or the, you know, the round table where it's like we get multiple points of view and you know, and there's like some sort of like conflict that arises that way. It's just like everyone, we just like, you know, it's always Michael saying like, well, we'll do this, and we're like on board.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Rainer is in a meeting with Book, Burnham, Kovich, Saru, and Admiral Vance about Maul and Laak and how to find them. Kovich says he can't provide any details on what they're going after. They think it's an old Romulan puzzle box, which makes me hope this gets into Hellraiser lore. Because they have David Cronenberg right there. Imagine what he could do with a Hellraiser property.
Yeah,
it's like made for him.
Just summons the Cenobites.
Oh, it'd be so fucking cool. So yeah, Cenobites in space. Did they do a Hellraiser in space?
I actually think that's one of the few horror franchises that didn't have a in space episode.
Because it'd be awesome in space.
Yeah, they could do it in space. Yeah, that makes no sense because we had Critters in space. We had Jason in space.
Yeah, obviously Leprechaun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it needs to go to space.
It needs to go to space, baby. I feel like one of the best episodes of Discovery, it was season 1, episode 3 or something, was space horror. It was that one with the cephalopod or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Where was I here? Hellraiser, David Cronenberg. Okay, so book says if he were the couriers, he'd go to Kamal, since there's a dealer there who loves old stuff, who goes by Fred. Vance says it's a mission for both Discovery and Antares, and tells them to work together and figure it out. So when everybody leaves, Burnham talks to Saru about looking outside Discovery's chain of command for more information. Burnham says she'll miss Saru if he takes the post as ambassador. They have a heartfelt moment that thankfully doesn't go on too long. Tilly, next, talks to a guy about crashing some cadets on an ice planet in order to test them. Tilly and the guy have a romantic moment, and it's a pretty awkward scene that goes on far too long.
Yeah, if you can call it that. That was very painful.
Yeah. Yeah, it caused me psychic damage for certain.
It's like no, John. It's like this is far beyond like the age of Riker in a way, where Riker would have just had that in the bag.
right. And it's a scene that goes on for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, but like in the runtime, that's like 7% of the episode, which is I don't know. You have some stories to tell, and you're like kind of skipping them for a Tilly romantic subplot. Why? Is that what anyone wants to see? I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe the fans of Discovery are more into shipping culture than regular fans of other things. So maybe that is what people want to see, but frankly, it's, I don't know, not my favorite thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're trying to replicate sort of like normal human courtship in a way between very awkward people, but yeah, just
if I wanted to see this kind of stuff, I just watch Love on the Spectrum, which is a better show than so
that'd be funny if we start watching that and then we find out they actually just lifted
all the dialogue
from that show.
Yeah, except it'd be cool if the dude was like, oh, do you like dinosaurs?
He just starts going to the schematics of a World War II era fighter jet or bomber
or a train.
Yeah,
give me the train schematics. So Burnham calls Tilly and asks for her help. Tilly says whatever it is she's in, and Burnham's like, oh, well, in that case, and starts up the fuck machine. Machine. So Discovery warp.
Oh no.
So Discovery warps to a desert planet, and we get a cool landscape shot of this ancient-looking village. It's a Dusty Village episode, and it actually looks a lot like Arrakis.
It looks a lot like Tatooine. There's even a kid on a pod racer.
Yeah, it's somewhere between Tatooine and Arrakis for certain.
Yeah,
it's also very Middle Eastern coded.
Yeah, and they seem to be just selling potpourri in their markets.
Oh no, they say it's a spice market, which made me go, oh, Arrakis. Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Except there's no cool ass worms.
No worms. I mean, you could consider tall and gray a worm. But as you said, no cool ass worms.
Yeah.
So Book and Burnham beam down to the planet, making it yet another Book and Burnham away team episode, just like the last 2 seasons.
Yep. Never gets old.
Yeah,
it makes me like really long.
The captain's the only one who can do it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we have so many. We have so many it's been 5 seasons and most of the bridge crew is completely unexplored and just I will say this is the fact that Burnham mentioned that she wants to play saxophone. That's the first we've heard I feel of their extracurricular activities that don't involve space adventure.
Right. And it's one of those things that good writing is show, don't tell. Too much exposition is whatever. With the book thing, he talks a bunch about working with the kids from the DMA or whatever, and it's fine, but I'd rather see him working for it,
Yeah, what's he actually doing?
Right.
Yeah, but we don't get that, and instead it's just adventure time.
Yeah, but they describe this season as the Indiana Jones season, and I'm like,
really?
Why are we making this pivot now? I mean, it's a show, and I feel like one of the main problems with Discovery is it's a show that has truly never found its actual voice, and when it has, it's a voice that no one really wants to hear.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, most of the most interesting characters typically only have 1 season and then they're shuffled off.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like the best seasons are kind of carried by certain actors. First season carried by Lorca, second was Pike and Georgiou, third was definitely Georgiou. Fourth didn't have any of those characters.
No. Not even the villain guy,
he was alright.
The guy with the thing in his head. Yeah, he was just kind of an asshole.
Yeah,
but wasn't interesting to watch.
I totally forgot his name already.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and I just watched it. So
the only things I remember from that season are DMA,
10C, DMA, 10C.
Yeah.
We need our abbreviations, don't we, folks? That's Star Trek. What would it be without abbreviations? So, everyone heads into the city. The city is basically like a Turkish market. Maul and La'ak show up, but it's presumably at what is presumably Fred's place, and he welcomes them. He looks like a guy cosplaying a Persian Data. He explains the linguistics of their names in the most autistic way possible.
That's kind of why me and Lucy watched it and we were kind of speculating, is it lore, is it supposed to be B4? And
no, it's Fred.
One part that had me thinking, because he went into the pronunciations of their names and he was he put a lot of significance on that, so I was like, oh, B4 Fred for Fred, that's what I was kind of thinking why he was doing that. Yeah, but as we see, as another Soong type android, but
yeah, I mean, we know
it was interesting.
Yeah, we know there was a lot of synths.
I think he looks enough like Brent Spiner where they could conceivably pass him off and later seasons or whatever they want of reintroducing Data.
Yeah, he looks Soong-ish. So, Fred asks the couriers if they can make a deal. La'ak shows him some stuff, including a self-sealing stem bolt and then a puzzle box. Fred says he hasn't seen a puzzle box like that in over 600 years. They ask if he can open it, and open it he does. Inside is a book, hopefully the Necronomicon. I would also like to see that lore folded into Star Trek. He reads it and quickly finds a symbol. He says he'll pay 3 bars of latinum for the whole haul. Maul laughs. La'ak says it's been too long since they've seen a synth anxious, and the offer is far too low. Fred asks them to leave, and they don't, so they beat up all of his bodyguards, and then they shoot Fred dead.
Fred's dead.
Fred dead. Drop dead Fred.
Which is fascinating. Like, this man has gone presumably close to 1,000 years. He's felled by he has over 1,000 years of experience under his belt, and how to, he's dealt with all sorts of situations, and
he's a synth, so he has outsized accuracy and power, so he could have easily shot them if his aim was any good, but somehow it's not.
Yeah.
How is his aim not good? I don't understand.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that they actually did kill him off, or at least for now that we know of. Because I feel like Data has survived worse in his time.
Yeah,
like they actually had to blow Data up to actually, kill him.
And so, even then, that didn't kill him at all.
Even that didn't kill him.
No.
Yeah, and so I was just like, really? Just a couple phaser blasts did him in? I mean, but then again, this is still early, so he could be in some sort of standby mode, or since he's a later style android, presumably made by another Soong, he could have some sort of self repair that's currently happening.
Yeah,
because I even still, despite the events of Picard, where they kind of replicated the technology to make Soong type androids, I feel they didn't truly understand them, so he could have some sort of other things going on, but we'll see.
True. We will see, indeed. So Book and Burnham walk into Fred's place, and the door is open. They go in and find Fred, who's dead. Antares' captain says the wound is still warm, so it must have been recent. He goes to look for them, and Burnham calls up Saru and tells him to scan the synth's memory. So they beam up Fred to scan his memory. I don't know if it's okay to just steal a dead body at a crime scene on a planet that you don't have jurisdiction over necessarily.
That's a good point. This should have, if it should have gone to whatever local authorities they have.
Yeah.
He's clearly a citizen of this planet, we're guessing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he does have some sort of rights, and
yeah, they just literally just steal his corpse, and I'm like, okay, that's a thing.
Yeah, who knows if he actually discovered the way to actually have children and a wife. And they go
Dad.
What happened to our father?
So Book and Burnham decide to go to the Sand Runners, which are just like sand speeders. So in the med bay, Stamets and Culber Hugh go over Fred's memory, and his serial number has an homage to Alton Soong. It's AS something something something, and Stamets is like, oh, that's obviously Soong, which is maybe not. Could be a lot of things. AS stands for a lot of things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it could stand for literally anything.
Yeah,
but there's gonna go with that.
Right? Why not? So they track the couriers, and Book, Burnham, and the Antares captain take off on some sand runners. They mention a spice market, which makes me think that this is definitely Arrakis. With Tilly, she's going through a database when security catches her, and Admiral Vance steps in. It looks like he's going to punish her, but he basically lets her get away with the whole hacking and everything. More like Admiral Vance, because he's radical. Right, guys? Anyway. So, on Arrakis, they find the couriers and chase them. They get to their ship and shoot at the Sand Runners. I'm not sure why they're still pursuing them in Sand Runners, because they're in a ship.
That was very bizarre to me, because, they're on Sand Runners.
And they're in a ship with heavy guns shooting at them, and they're like, yeah, let's keep pursuing the big ship with a lot of guns that's flying up in the sky that we can't get to on these Sand Runners.
I think it's because they know there's ships in orbit monitoring them, and that's why they're flying so low, because they wanted to use the tunnels to escape. But still, it just seems like. But also, it's they could just flip a bitch and just turn the other direction or go anywhere. They're in they could.
There's a lot of things they could do. Yeah.
Yeah.
They could like
funny.
just go fly to the other side of the planet. I don't know.
That's why, like, I think like a lot of the editing, I think, is a problem in this, because during this scene we just see a lot of like, we don't get to see a lot. At first I didn't even conceive that like they were in the ship. I thought they were also on Sand Runners. Like
no, they're in a ship.
And because like a lot of like what we see is just mostly just like Burnham and Book up close, and we don't get to see like a far away shot of them that's like
true.
driving the Sand Runners.
There's a lot of them just talking on their Sand Runners, like yelling back and forth at each other, and I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, that's why it was like hard to really place what the action was for me at first. I was like, wait, what's going on? Okay, they're in a ship. Okay, then why aren't they just like in the stratosphere? But then again, they're actively being pursued by the Discovery up in orbit. So
they call up to Discovery, and Discovery says that there's a bunch of tunnels underneath the planet, which the ship is probably trying to escape through. So
from sandworms.
So the Antares captain is like, hey, maybe we should just blow up the entrance to that tunnel. And Discovery's like, hey, there's a 30% chance that doing that will destroy the settlement underneath. And Antares captain's like, yeah, go ahead and do it anyway. And Burnham's like, no. So they do it, and it doesn't destroy the village. But doing so, let's go back to Discovery real quick. So on Discovery, Stamets and Adira try to figure out how to save the town. If like the thing happens, if the avalanche happens, and Burnham and Booker try to get the Antares captain to help them save thousands of people and temporarily give up pursuit of the couriers, because at this point the couriers shoot a mountain and cause a second avalanche, which will destroy the village. And Burnham's like, no, you gave them that idea, which maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say they couldn't have thought of that themselves?
Yeah, it's not a crime to give someone an idea. But so the Antares captain agrees and cedes to Burnham, and it's like, okay, let's help save this village. So they decide to use the ships to block the avalanche's path, which isn't actually a bad idea, I guess, since they can't really think of anything else, and every other technology is like useless to them at this point. They crash the ships right in the avalanche's path, and the village people celebrate by singing YMCA, because they're the village people. So everybody is safe, and there's only a few minor injuries to the crews. Molly and La'ak escape, though. The Antares captain takes off, and Book says he's glad he got another mission with Burnham. Burnham says she should have called, and Book says they both should have called. Really? I mean, like, he like defected from her ship and defected from the Federation, and she's the reason he got brought back to life. So I don't know. I feel like maybe they shouldn't talk anymore.
Yeah.
Or lock it down, or like don't talk again.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, they just act like it was all water under the bridge. Like it doesn't really matter.
Right. Because he's doing good work with those DMA refugees. So. So Burnham says she's not sure how to be around Book anymore, and we have one of those emotional scenes with very emotional music. They're paying Jeff Russo overtime for making all the fucking music in the show.
Very melodramatic.
So Book and Michael officially end things, I think, which should have probably been implied.
Yeah, I feel like, given that it's been months since they talked, I feel that's... I mean, like, as we probably know, like, this is clearly not the end of... Do they have a special name, like Burn Book or something? Bookham, probably. Bookham, yeah. I mean, it's not even a ship. It's like, it's canon. Like they're So I don't know. Do we care about ships that aren't like, I don't know. Well, it's kind of it's a Bennifer type situation, I guess. As we all know, they got separated and then they got back together.
Yeah, she has. Looking at it, and that and the security guy from the first couple seasons, Michael really has a thing for guys who defect from the Federation and do sedition.
Yeah.
She's well, I mean, she's a mutineer, so I guess she should be into seditionists.
Yeah, whatever happened to the Klingon guy?
I don't remember.
Yeah, can't remember.
Died,
I think it was like he was supposed to be in that Section 31 show they were planning. I'm not sure if he's going to be in the movie or not.
Who cares?
We'll see. Yeah.
So Discovery drops out of war. Tilly calls Burnham and says she has answers. Discovery drops out of Worf into the Federation space dock. Saru arrives and talks to his girlfriend. Saru says the village people were grateful to be saved, and it made him grateful to be alive. He said he's struggled with love. He says if he were to face such horrors, he could only think of her. He says his future with her is intertwined, and she is his home and family and much more. There's another really weepy scene that I'm like, come on. He says he's going to be an ambassador so he can always be with her. She says it's logical to codify the relationship, and she be proposing. She be asking for a ring on that. Yeah.
And I'm not, and it's funny because I mean I understand that like one half of this is you know she's Vulcan, so she's emotionless by default, but it just did feel very it's just there's nothing that didn't feel emotional or impactful for me. Like I was just like, I'm not sure that's just because like they were talking about it very clinically.
Yeah, it was pretty sterile, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess now we're going to get like there's probably going to be one episode where they're for the wedding,
right? And then an episode where they go to couples therapy.
So yeah, it'll join like O'Brien and Keiko's wedding, Worf and Jed's wedding. Yeah. Are those the only other two weddings that we've had in Star Trek? I mean, there is the one in TOS, that one that Kirk does.
I mean, if you're counting movies, Riker and Troy, of course.
Oh, Riker and Troy, that's right.
For sure. Yeah. So Burnham comes into medbay, and Stamets and Hugh got a good enough scan of the Romulan book that Fred saw. So Burnham looks at it and realizes they're looking for the wrong planet. She says she needs to talk to Kovich. She transports to him and says she needs to know more about the mission. Kovich says he's taking her off the case and he's already sent a new team after it. She says he can fruitlessly pursue this mission or hire her on. And then Kovich just suddenly reconsiders and lets her in on the mission. Like that. She just convinces him with a line. A Romulan doctor named Dr. Velik from TNG's episode The Chase left behind the Romulan book as a sort of map to the progenitors from TNG, the ancient species that seeded the galaxy with humanoid life millions of years ago. Dr. Velik somehow found their technology, and Kovich says he can't imagine how the technology could be used in the wrong hands. They don't even know what the technology is. Like what, the technology to populate the universe with human life? They don't even know if it's not a weapon. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, it's not like it's like the Genesis device, where it's just like it'll like if it lands on a planet. I mean, but then again, we don't know what it is.
It'd be hilarious if they found it and it's just a mushroom spore drive. It's like, fuck, we already have that.
Oh, do you think that's what's going to happen? It's going to be a time travel thing where that progenitor is actually like Stamets, but with like like burn scars all over him or something.
God, if they do that, it's over.
Yeah, if it'll be like where they're actually the real progenitors, like they actually went back in time and they're the ones who started life with the spore drive, because that makes sense, because like what's mushrooms, there's that big argument that like mushrooms are the reason like there's life anyway, like there's like the panspermia type theory where it's just like life was brought to Earth based on bacteria and and fungus or whatever on the asteroids. So
could be.
I mean that makes sense. That would also tie in with the fact that with Stamets being like, am I going to make anything ever again? And then
you made all life, Stamets. You are God. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
What?
This is going. I hope I'm not right.
Me
All right.
neither.
Okay, so you see what the progenitor looks like.
Sure.
You see what Mullen and Locke look like.
Uh-huh.
Do you think the progenitor is actually the daughter of Mullen and Locke?
No. I think there's a chance Locke is a progenitor or something, like a descendant of.
Could be possible. I'm just saying. And that's how they brought so many different populations, because maybe he's actually like, what they do is they bring back the spores from Stamets or something. But
no, I don't like any of this.
Me either. I'm just trying to think.
So yeah. So Burnham says she knows where the technology is. Kovich tosses her the infinity symbol and tells her to go for it. End of episode.
Yeah. What's fascinating to me is the fact that they know that they're dealing with people. All right, so theoretically, like they're scavengers.
Right.
That was unclaimed space trash. They have every right to claim that for themselves. Mm-hmm. Like they're not in trouble. Like
no.
This is honestly like in any other Trek, this would be like a discussion over the rights to the Finders Keepers thing, because also like it's a Romulan ship. It's not it's not a Federation ship.
Yeah.
It's also 800 years in the past, so it's up for grabs. It's literally whoever wants it.
Right.
The fact that they keep like they're going after them like they're outlaws, which is completely wrong approach. Like they at no point do they ever ask like
they could have killed them. They
you?
Could have killed them in their pursuit of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they never ask like, can we buy it from you?
No.
Like they're dealing with someone who's actively trying to sell what they have. And they should have cut them up. They should have like reached out to them and been like, we will buy it from you.
Instead, countless people are going to get killed in pursuit of finding these people. And they're going to be just unnamed nobodies. That's one thing, too, that I don't love about Discovery is, like, even when something of consequence happens, they really underplay it. Like, the DMA killed millions of people, presumably, and they talk about it for, like, an episode. And Book's sad that his, like, nephew's dead. And that's it. He's not like, the fucking entire world destroyed. Everyone I've ever known. He's like, I never got a real relationship with my nephew. I'm like, what? Yeah. All right, Buck. Priorities, buddy.
It's interesting because there is other episodes where I think there's that one Voyager episode where like isn't that the one with the guy who basically runs a space junkyard?
Oh yeah.
So like they're just trying to negotiate. It's like the subtleties are just like negotiating,
But that could be done in an episode, and they need this to fill 10 full fucking episodes.
Exactly. Yeah. Treating Mullen and Locke like they're just common criminals, I thought was like a real huge mistake, because from their perspective,
no, they're treated like they're master criminals.
Yeah, and they're honestly just doing their job.
Yeah.
They did something that is actually legal, which is like
they're doing what archaeologists do in the Star Trek universe. Like, there's no difference between them and like a legitimate archaeologist.
Everything Picard was doing would technically fall into that same 100%. Circumstance.
Yeah.
So it's just like like they were scavenging an abandoned ship from 800 years ago that really belongs to no one anymore. Like the Romulan Empire is no longer like that, presumably. Yeah. Like, it's a past time. Like it's space grab.
And I presume it's in Federation space, which is why they're there. But yeah. But even then,
not even like. But like it was like even the ship they.
Yeah, a Romulan ship in like a derelict ship in Federation space, I think, still has more claim to Romulus than it does to, to fucking the Federation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like that's why I understand. Like they're, and especially if like, okay, well, it's not like they're stealing it. Like you could at any point you could have reached out to them and like, we will buy that from you. But from the get go, they're trying to basically arrest them, and kill them.
the fucking, I mean, like, Cisco made deals like 600 years ago for so much more latinum for shit, you know? He was willing to drop like, 100 bars of latinum on Quark just to like keep his silence and shit. And they're like, this is the key to the technology that could destroy the universe. Maybe, who knows?
He gave away bioneural gel that could be used to make
genetic enhancements.
Yeah. So he's just like he was willing to give up a lot more for on scale wise a lot less. And yeah, sure, like Fred offered them 3 bars of latinum, which was like
that's not
very
much.
low.
Yeah, that's
like
very
he was
low.
definitely trying to bluff them and make it seem like it wasn't worth as much, But he honestly should have just given like a larger thing from the beginning of it. But also like what's keeping the Federation from also giving before like they actually had it appraised, like giving them a much larger appraisal.
Fred's like big mistake was opening the box there. Like I would have if he was smart like an android, he would have just like looked at it and like assessed its value and like maybe lowballed him still, but like lowballed him to be like, I don't know how to open it, but I'll take any artifacts. How about 3 bars of latinum for the whole haul? Something like that. But instead, he's like, let me open this up. Oh, let me read this book and get nervous about it. Like, all right.
Yeah, it could have just been like, a Romulan diary. Oh, well, like, here, give you 4 bars of latinum for your trouble.
This is just an erotic novel.
Yeah, but also, like the Federation basically starts trying to kill them, kill Mom and Locke. Right from the get-go, trying to kill them, and which I think if they had gone in, if they had used some sort of tact from the get-go, just been like, hey, we're also interested in this, can we compensate you in some way instead of like going in phasers first? Yeah, seemed very like counterintuitive because that automatically makes them think
they need action. Capital A.
Yeah, immediately alerts them to the fact that this is worth way more than they know,
Yeah, it's the logic doesn't really fly for a lot of this episode for me. Now we
got to stretch this out for 10 episodes. So.
Yeah, the performances were fine. Writing wasn't great. Action was okay, but like, I don't know, too much spectacle, not enough there. Thankfully, they didn't do the thing that they did all of last season, which is like spend half the episode doing technobabble about things I really didn't give a shit about. Yeah. And like coming up with technobabble solutions to things. Like, I'm fine if you spend a couple seconds on that. Be like, oh, the warp core is about to breach. Reignite the fission parameters. Okay. Oh, it works, something like that. But like last season, like half the episodes were just like, well, the DMA's like this. Well, what if we use the subverse analogy inversely and shit like that? I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, you're just making shit up in order to fill script time,
Yeah, honestly, that's a lot of what it feels like. Or just like, this honestly also feels like Book and Burnham romance for 10 episodes, part 2.
But now we also have Saru and Vulcan Lady. Hopefully we get to see them fuck by the end. I want to see what Saru's dong looks like. Like,
hey baby, let me see that Killian dong.
It also has Threat Galangela or whatever it's called.
This has what?
The little things that shoot spikes out.
Oh yeah.
But like, but I think it is setting it up for this is just going to be like smoldering glances between Burnham and Book for 10 episodes again,
right? It's just in a conversation like somewhere in the middle of every episode, like, I don't know what this is anymore, I never knew what it is. Shit like that,
which is exhausting. Like, that's why I wish like it was an ensemble cast like other Treks where
where we have episodes focusing on other people other than Michael Burnham.
explore. I mean, I guess we are getting like a Tilly romance angle in this one, but
and
it's
Saru.
Like,
I mean, but they're focusing still on the exact same people they focused on from season 1.
Yeah,
which I think is the problem. Is like we have a whole other bridge crew that we hear. Like I know Detmer and Ulam.
Rice.
Yeah. I know some of their names, but they never really get a chance to shine, and they're sometimes featured in an episode when they're willing to like sacrifice their life or some shit, but other than that, they're kind of just played into the background. Like one of the best episodes of Discovery was the one where they had that part synth lady, but they like killed her off in that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was, and then they brought the actress back to play the blonde girl that was on the bridge.
Right,
but I didn't see her on this. I didn't see her in this one.
No, she was on last season. I don't know if she's here this season though.
Yeah, I did notice they have an Italian on the bridge now.
Oh yeah,
Lieutenant Gallo. I was just like, oh, I guess Italians still exist.
The future is a dystopia.
Yeah, the future is dystopia.
Yeah. And they call Star Trek utopian. Get the fuck out of here.
Did you have any, before we close out, did you have any sort of like theories on where this season's going? Like I have my Maul and Locke are going to be the mom and dad of the progenitor.
Yeah, I don't really have an idea where it's going so far. I don't know. Yeah, not really. Maybe we'll talk at the end of the next episode about where it's going, because there's some stuff in the next episode that gives some more clues to where we're going.
That's true.
Yeah, this episode was all right. Usually the seasons of Discovery start pretty strong, and then they peter from there. So I guess we'll see. I don't have high hopes, unfortunately. But this first episode wasn't bad. I'd give it a solid, I don't know, 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it was decent. I mean, except for a lot of the editing, like during the speeder scene, just like the close-up shots where they're obviously, the actors were obviously just sitting on a bike getting sand thrown at them.
And they're just yelling.
I didn't really care for that. I did like the scene when they, mushroom warp back to the space dock. You can see sand coming off the ship. I thought that was a good touch.
Right, and in the next episode, they have like a robot cleaning up sand still, and so there's some cool like series continuity like that.
But I also like that. Because like I was thinking like, well, how are they going to get out of that? Are they just going to like go into reverse? But then that made me think like, did they just like do the mushroom warp while in the sand? That just like the saucer section just twirl around really
just
quick in the sand,
vaporize the town anyway.
yeah, exactly. You just see like any like whatever, like the warp bubble that surrounds it. You also see some bodies floating away. Also.
Yeah, we'd love to see that. Yeah, you got any final thoughts on this bad boy?
No. I'm really excited about my theory now. I just thought of that, and I think I'm right, which I don't want to be, but
I don't want you to be either. So let's hope not.
Yeah.
Well, this has been Soy Shrek. I have been Britt.
And I have been Pat.
If you'd like to support us, please go to patreon.com/dumbidiotbs and sign up there for as little as free or $2 to help support us. And also like, rate, and subscribe to us on any podcast platform.
Oh yeah, and also like we will be hosting Slut Trek Assimilation on May 25th and 26th in Somerville, Massachusetts at Arts in the Armory. And, it's going to be burlesque, drag, pole, comedy, and live music. And you can see us there.
And you can meet us there. If you're anywhere around Boston, I will be, I think, bringing a bunch of merch there, too. So you'll actually be able to get some authentic Soy Trek merch.
Straight from the source.
Straight from the source.
Yeah, you're just like you're going to be milking Brit's teats, getting the merch right from the source. There.
I mean, you can do that too if you want. I love nipple play, so if you wanna grab on my titties, my girlfriend's gonna be there for one night. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, you can do it in front of her, make her jealous.
Yeah, and maybe a T-shirt will come out, some stickers.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And if you get enough milk, then it'll be like a wet T-shirt contest.
Well, you most disturbing wet T-shirt contest.
You don't want to think of someone milking my nipples.
A human milk wet T-shirt contest.
Oh my god! So a lactation wet T-shirt contest, like the one with the wettest T-shirt wins. Everything just smells like sour milk.
Okay, we promise none of that will happen.
Yeah,
none of that will happen.
That won't happen in Star Trek Discovery Season 5.
Yeah, that's going to happen in Star Trek Season 5, but it's not going to happen in Star Trek Assimilation.
Yeah, maybe not for you, baby. You can't control me.
It's true, I can't.
Yeah, so if you're anywhere around Boston area, I'll go ahead and put up the link for tickets on our Instagram.
Hells yeah.
And Twitter.
Yeah, there's only, I think, a few VIP left.
Mm-hmm.
So
the VIP for, I think, night one was almost sold out last I checked. And
So yeah.
Get it while you can. Tickets are flying. It's only so many.
Flying.
We've got 2 nights, only like 600 tickets altogether or something. So
hells yeah.
Get there or get square. I don't know what that means. All right. I've been Britt.
I've been Pat. Thanks for checking with us, Soy Boys, Girls, and Willy Beans.
Hang dong.
Hang dong.
And shocker.
And shocker.
Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, soy, soy. Soy, soy. Well, we're back here on Old Timey Radio. We've got our guest, Mr. Theodus Falutin. We're here to talk today about your least favorite minority. Why don't you go first?
Well, I can describe it with one word.
What's that word? Tell me, what's that word?
The